What's up? Happy Tuesday. That is our 30-second countdown. I am sorry. As usual, I got some kind of technical difficulty happening with my stuff. But welcome to Free Thinkers. It is another edition. It is the first edition of Free Thinkers for the year 2023. So welcome to the conversation. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the group. Welcome to the family. Welcome to what we do here at Free Thinkers. Let me keep playing with this light here for a few seconds. It's going to eventually give out. I apologize. The light ain't going to be the best, but you know, it is what it is. Feel free to buy me a new ring light if you want to contribute to the cause. So anyways, I'm Nikki D. I'm your host of Free Thinkers. Welcome. I'll give it a few minutes. So I'll just kind of talk and introduce myself, kind of give you a little bit of a rundown on what we do here, how to find us, what to expect, so that if you want to join us, you know how to find us, you know how to join us. So first and foremost, we reached 80 subscribers for 2022. So shout out to all of those 80 subscribers and to those who have continued to follow us and continue to support us, continue to share us, continue to add to the group page, continue to bring people into the free thinker world. We absolutely appreciate all of the support. And 80 subscribers might not seem like a big deal to a lot of people, but to us, it is everything. It is homegrown, organically grown, people who have hit the subscribe button solo, you know, exclusively on just GP of, you know, supporting what we do here. So we appreciate those 80 subscribers. We would love to obviously be able to double and triple our subscribers. So if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please go over to the YouTube channel. It's Free Thinkers Worldwide and hit the subscribe button. On the YouTube channel, you have access to all of the videos that we have shot live for 2022, probably some 2021 in there as well. Obviously, all the content that we have is not loaded onto our YouTube channel because we didn't start a YouTube channel until, I guess, last year or maybe the year before. So you've got a whole year's worth of Tuesday night episodes over there on the Free Thinkers channel on YouTube. So Free Thinkers Worldwide. If you're like, I don't know how to find it, you can go to my page and it's all over on my page. On my cover, there's the Facebook page and there is the YouTube channel. So definitely follow us over and subscribe over on the YouTube channel. You'll always get notifications on Tuesday night when we are going live. And if ever we do anything else, you know, through our YouTube channel, you'll get notification of that as well. Also, the other place to find us and support us, where most people know us from, is of course our YouTube channel, or I'm sorry, is our Facebook page. Our Facebook page, of course, is just hashtag Free Thinkers. That too is all over on my page. There's a link to it in many different places, but it's just hashtagging the word Free Thinkers with a couple dots afterwards. It is a public page, so you can join it. There's no, you know, admin, you know, approval required for you to join the page, but definitely do join us over there because on our Facebook page is where we have all of our daily conversations, all of our, you know, hot topics, just randomest news and things that we all share amongst each other. We have an awesome Free Thinkers family. So a lot of our friends are musicians and entertainers and business owners and comedians and other podcast family members. So, I mean, we collaborate a lot over on the Facebook page. So if you've not joined us over there too, join us over on the Facebook Free Thinkers page. We go live every Tuesday night. We took last week off, obviously, and Q did the week before. So this is, I think I've missed the last 2 weeks of shows. I'm happy to be here tonight.
How do you feel about that?
It was weird. I was like, dang, it's been a minute since there was actually like consecutive weeks for me worth of like no FaceTime with Free Thinkers. So it's weird. Last Tuesday, I was like, I mean, I had a million things going on, but I was like, damn, this is weird. So I'm glad to be back. Thanks for holding the fort down last week and making sure that the last 2 weeks was golden as it usually is. But we got a cool topic for tonight. I just kind of was giving them the rundown really quickly of where to find us. I'm going to make sure on my page everything is marked public. So if there's anything you want to share before we get started, Q, please do. Let me see. I'm not seeing our video on my personal page yet, but are you seeing it on Free Thinkers? If you are watching us, let us know where you see us from. If you're seeing us from the YouTube channel, you can comment in the comments on our YouTube channel or on the Facebook. Either on the Facebook page is mine or the Facebook Free Thinkers page. Let's see.
I don't know what I did with my phone.
Okay, we're up. Okay, cool. So it's just for whatever reason it hasn't gone to my page. It'd be hating a lot. Facebook still does not trust me. So it'll be a while before it's loaded onto my page. So right now you can interact with us. If you don't want to get into the conversation live, which we absolutely invite you to do every Tuesday. If you're not comfortable getting in the conversation with us live, you can engage with us in the comment section on the live videos. So whether you're on our YouTube channel or if you eventually catch it on my channel or on the Facebook page in the live comment section, you can interact with other people in there as well as communicate with us. And I can't see it right now because my phone is still broken. But Q can definitely look at the comments, read the comments. We can add them to our screen, and then we engage with folks who participate in the comments as well. At least we try to. Sometimes it does get moving fast, and we might not catch you. But generally, we try to grab the comments from the comment section as well. But if you feel like having a conversation, then come on the damn show. It's 2023. Come on in, get on live, engage in conversation with us here. And let's have some grown folks conversation. Warning, of course, I did not put that out there. Warning, 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 language, warning always. That has not changed. The 2023 year. All right, so we're on Facebook Live, or just for whatever reason, I don't mind. How was your Christmas? How was your family Christmas, Q? There we go. Okay, we're up.
It was good.
Yeah.
But I think I had an observation.
You had an observation this Christmas?
I think I'm done with the whole Christmas thing.
See, that's what I was talking about when we were talking earlier today, like how things have changed, like what have tradition.
What do you mean when you say that? Before I say anything, what do you mean by when you say that? What do you mean?
So the whole conversation tonight was kind of like year-end review, and it wasn't so much like talking about what has taken place in 2022 events or anything really in particular. It for me, my idea in wanting to talk about the year-end review or year-end review was kind of like what 2022 was for some people mentally, emotionally, spiritually, versus the end of the year has happened. A whole 365 days has gone by. 12 months has gone by. 12 months of my life has gone by. You know, we're turning a new page on the calendar, like visually looking at that, you know, metaphorically turning the page on a new calendar. And what, if anything, is different or has changed or may change or would you like to do differently? So when you say that, like, to me, for me, that's kind of like one of the things that I think about when I think about like out with the old and in with the new, per se. What makes you say that you are done with the Christmas thing?
Well, number one, I've been wanting to be done with the Christmas thing for a while, but you know, it's a big bus that you got to move. You got the, you know, girlfriends and kids and all type of.
There's a lot of moving
everybody
parts.
Ain't on board. That's like I could want to be done with Valentine's Day too, but if my girl ain't done with it, then you're gonna be in trouble, right? So, you know, me being done was anyway. My whole point was I've been kind of done with it for a while, but I think for me, just the vibe that I got from Christmas is there's a lot of nostalgia that goes along with it. You remembering certain things, how you felt on Christmas Day, and you want your kids to feel that same type of way. You like right now. I've a long time ago I've transitioned to my kids. Christmas don't mean much to me,
Right.
but the things that you the things that you want them to experience. It's not even about Christmas anymore. It's the times of today don't allow those feelings to exist. And I think number one, just the present aspect of it. My kids got everything that they want. They got everything that they need. Like it's hard to freaking impress kids now because the things I begged
right. Our kids would laugh at us.
my mother and father for a Nintendo. And I mean, I just needed it with all my heart. And the things that I begged them for, they can grab my phone, they tablet, anything on the computer. They have better technology and they can play more games that's accessible to them that they don't even have to pay for than I did when I would either have to beg for it, or I remember my older sister would walk like 5 blocks to this laundry mat just to play Miss Pac-Man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Can
those
you
type
even
of
imagine
things.
today? No freaking way.
Right.
Like our
Like,
kids would be like,
no,
walk
nobody's
what?
no. Or we would, we would walk 3 or 4 blocks to our friend's house who did have a Nintendo. Like,
Right.
oh, he got a Nintendo. Hey, we're gonna make a hike and see if their mom let us in the house so we could play. It's just it reminds us that we're in an age where we are, as people, we really blessed. Even people who are struggling, we have so much, we have a lot. Just thinking about pretty much every home has internet access.
Right.
It's crazy. To think about that, 20, 25 years ago, that's crazy.
Right.
So anyway, I just said, number one, it's from a present aspect, it can't be an event because we have everything that we need or want, or if we want it, then we can easily get it. And that's the same with me. I'm not like, I feel bad for people who try to get gifts for me. I got most of the stuff that I want.
Or I don't want anything. Like,
that
my list is not something I give to you, right? Like, it's just like, have you found like, and I know your kids are a little bit younger, so maybe they're still in like some of like the toy age, I guess. But like,
they're in that transitional age, which is really hard now.
So have your kids got to the place yet where they literally are like mine, where it's like, I don't know what I want for Christmas. Like, there isn't something on the list. Like, I don't want stuff. Like, my kids have never been a stuff kind of kid. So like every Christmas and birthday for the last couple years, when my sister asked my kids, what do you want for Christmas? Send me your list. Da, 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 da. Now, back in the day when my son was little, he'd have the Toys R Us little circular, and he would circle all the shit he wants, right? So me and his dad would always know what to get because he'd circle on the Toys R Us newsletter. But like the last probably 3 or 4 years worth of birthdays and Christmases for my kids, at least my boys anyway, when you ask them what they want, they're like,
So even the last couple birthdays,
gift card?
And that's not even a gift to me.
I know, but if that's what somebody wants, it's
I know, and that's certain things you think of. Let me get him a gift card so he can go
get what he wants, buy a game online.
But that's not it, but like, you already got game. What's going to be memorable for you? So even the last couple Christmases, I think Christmas and birthdays, I've been getting them like music instruments, getting guitars, and pianos, and looking at different stuff like that. Like,
same.
So those are things that I would just try to do to just take them to a whole different arena. But that's not the same, number one. And then number two, just the I don't feel the same social interaction, like, because people don't socially interact the same. I think it pulls away from the holiday spirit. And I don't even think the holiday spirit is the same as it once was, because people in general don't really know how to interact with one another.
Do you?
And I feel a strain. I just feel a vibe that
it felt different this year. But do you feel like the last 2.5, 3 years of pandemic, of just people really kind of changing some of their philosophies of what they used to do versus what they have just kind of taken on these new trends now? I mean, I know social media has very much changed how we have relationships way before COVID, but do you think that COVID played a part in some of that because people are still leery to engage, or they've gotten lazy, or just whatever?
Not in Texas. I don't think that's the case.
He said, no, they still gather.
COVID never existed in Texas. Let them tell it. So I mean, I think COVID had people operating differently for maybe 6 weeks in Texas. And outside of that, then it was the quick scare, and everybody put your mask on, and they ready to fight you if you don't have a mask on outside. Like, you could be outside walking your dog and where's your mask? But that lasted for about 6 weeks in Texas. And after that, I don't think it really. So anyway, I don't think that was a factor.
Texas for being safe.
No. It's a Lone Star state for a reason. We're independent in our thoughts.
Thinking, right. So you don't think that COVID? See, because I feel like COVID definitely could have played a part in some of that for some people. I think for people especially older people who may have lost people or had gotten sick themselves, especially that first round of COVID where people were fucking dying. And people still today have like massive long hauler syndrome that they could probably apply for disability and get, because they're just not able to work, can't drive anymore. Like, I think that for some people, that has definitely changed how they engage with people outside of their house. But I very much felt like this last Christmas was not Christmas. And it wasn't just me, because I don't partake in Christmas the way most people do, but it did not feel like the Christmassy vibe. And maybe that's because it was literally just me and my kids, you know, like the whole family thing is not happening anymore. We did hang out with my sister one night. We had a really good dinner and a really good time over at her house. But like, we have no family here. My dad's not living anymore. My mom is back in Minnesota. So it's literally just me and my kids. So that whole, the shit that I grew up with doesn't exist. And I cannot give that to my kids. What I can give to them is the creation of Christmas in our house, the smells and the sounds and the sights and all of that. But like, I can't keep up a tradition when there's no people to have the tradition with. Like, it ain't there anymore. So I wonder, because I felt
and
it
it'll always be
year.
different. You gotta start new traditions.
True.
And that's even what, you know, what I think that's kind of where me and my sister kicked in, where we just, hey, we're both in Texas. We are going to turn Thanksgiving into ours, because I was just down on Thanksgiving because I know you don't care for it, but that was a memorable time for me. Like, that was the time where I would see all of my family, where you know, go to my grandmother's house, go to one grandmother's house early in the day, go to the other one later in the evening time. And it was just, that was my favorite time, because it was just a whole lot of commotion and love and food going on.
I agree.
It was and then when I was gone, when both my grandparents passed, and it was like, what? You know, I was just like, blah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, my sister's like, well, we here. You know, don't forget about us. So then that's when we just start, you know, spending time, and our two families just hang out. We just do us.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's really what it's about. And I think that maybe, I know for myself, I definitely had some hangups early on when my mentality about these holidays that we all grew up with and loved and cherished changed for me. So, I mean, I do value these holidays, right? These capitalistic holidays as time to be with family. Like, I love the family aspect. I love the unity aspect. You know, I'm all about sharing a meal and trying to heal, right? Like, so I love the aspect of being with people that are important over food and making memories and laughing and doing all those things. But it just, it felt different. And I think for me too, like, adding on to the element of, I have a very small family as it is, and my family dynamic has certainly changed over the last, you know, 6-7 years. But when my dad passed, it was like, that was the glue of our family. And that was the glue of all activity. That was where we had every barbecue and grew up always feeding 50, 60 people on holidays, because people needed a place to go. And so, like, when you lose that, and I posted about this during the holidays, about leave people the fuck alone, because everybody's not happy right now. Everybody doesn't really feel like they've got this joyous spirit of Thanksgiving and Christmas. And a lot of people were in a dark place the last 2.5 months of the year, heavier this year than what a lot of adults my age that I've had conversations with have identified. And a lot of it was loss of a parent, loss of a relationship, loss of somebody from COVID, loss of a job still because of COVID, just major life changes that you then kind of look at some of those things a little bit differently. And I still was very hungry for the unity and the community and the gathering of good spirits, you know, around the table. But everybody doesn't, I don't know. I guess when you have a place to go, that's just where you go. And I guess because we've always been the only family here in Texas. None of my family is here except my mom, my dad, and my sister. My dad's no longer here, neither is my mom. She's moved. So now that it's literally just my sister and I, when you don't have that central location of where to go anymore, you automatically have to create new things. And there's the grief associated with that. Let me tell you, that's the one thing I think I realized the most over the 2022 year was what grief is and like how it affects your life on so many different levels. It isn't just because I lost a loved one. Like it's the closure of holidays. It's the closure of what it used to be versus what it actually is.
And you know, another thing, maybe this is, and also for those of you watching, let us know. I don't know if it's just me and Nikki, but let us know if Christmas feel different to you. If let me know if it's I don't know if it's just me or what. But I think another part of it is Amazon.
Right? I agree with you.
Like there's no malls anymore. There's no like.
I agree with you.
It's just different. I don't know.
It was my first year shopping online. I don't shop. I don't like to spend money, and my kids never want things, right? So like throughout the course of the year, I try to buy them the things that they do like, the things that they need upgrades on, right?
Right.
So I don't shop, right? But like shopping online, I'm totally anti-shop online because I feel like you have to touch things, you have to go to the store, like you have to walk around, get to try shit on. Like you have to support stores. I fucking hate online shopping and I hate supporting Bezos. Like I absolutely just hate Amazon. And so I do. I hate everything about it. I just like, totally hate it. I'm so against it. But my sister was like, if you don't get online and find some shit, and I found everything I needed and then some. And so while massively convenient and absolutely something I will probably continue doing because I don't like peopling like that. I did go to the mall one day and it was disgusting. And I think I mean, it was just like, it was disgusting and it was people and it was dirty and it was mouth breathers. And it was like,
wow. Also, you don't even want to be around. Okay. So let me tell you. So
I don't.
One of the things like I can think back, you know, during the Christmas season, this is before all the social media stuff like that. Even when I would go places like go to the mall or go different places around the holidays, you'd run into different people that you maybe you hadn't seen in a while. And then it was like festive. Oh, how you doing? What's going on? It's good to see you. And it's like you get to reconnect with those people or that you know from high school or that you hadn't seen in a while. And there's just a whole spirit to it that I think is gone. Now this is Maria says something interesting. Also losing people that are still alive. Sometimes we have to remove ourselves from family and we grieve that loss as well. So yeah, that can, well, you know what, that can almost be worse because the people who are no longer with you, you get why they're not in the presence of the event. But for those who have the ability to be there, but y'all just not seeing eye to eye, or you know, something had to happen where y'all not there. Especially when she's talking about removing yourself from family, that you know, that when you say removing, that's like, it ain't that we live on the other side of the country. It's just, no, I'm
not messing with you no more.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I posted something about that around Thanksgiving time, and it was basically something that said, you know, shout out, big fat love to those who have chosen estrangement over dysfunctional, toxic family relationships. And that is probably just as hard because the person who chooses to remove themselves from toxic, dysfunctional family members still has to have on their spirit that this person is still here. This person could fucking change. This person could come to their senses, right? This person could get better. They could get healthier. They could improve their life to where I don't have to feel like it's best for me to disassociate. But however, it's best for me to disassociate. That is hard. That's very hard. And kudos to anybody who has done that. I have definitely disengaged from people who are not part of where I want my life to be. And it's really hard when you don't have a lot of family, when it is your family.
See, I'm conflicted about that. I get what you're saying. There's certain hard lines that you cannot cross.
Excuse me, sorry.
So for those certain lines, and even the ones I've heard you mention before, yeah, I get that.
Right.
In other situations, not talking about the one that you've articulated before,
Racist
but
family members,
right,
absolutely. Right.
right. But in situations where we don't see eye to eye, we don't get along, like you can't get along for 5 hours for one day
People
out of the
don't walk
year.
away from family for reasons like that. Usually people are walking away.
Sometimes
But
they
that's, to
do.
me, that's
Sometimes
petty.
they
Just
do.
a, just
Well,
just
that's
an
why
energy.
I wanted to clarify though. Like
Okay.
in a
Because
situation
that's just
what
an
you're talking
energy of
about, I
petty, in
get
my
that.
opinion.
Sometimes people, oh, they just too negative. I can't do. I got a friend, you know, someone that's very close in their family. You know, oh man, she's just too negative all the time. Like, yo, dude, that's your mom. You gotta figure it out.
But
If that's
do
but
you have
no,
but do you
Nikki.
have to deal with that energy if you don't actually have to
You don't have
deal
to
with
deal
that
with it. No,
energy?
not all day, every day, but you should build up enough to say, I can give this person 5 minutes of my time. If 5 minutes is as much as I can take, let me give that 5 minutes. And maybe they wouldn't be so negative and picking and poking at you if they heard from you more than once every 3 or 4 months.
Well, and I guess you have to really
And maybe they
you
wouldn't,
have
but
to value
still.
what's negative. Because negative to me, when I think about toxic family members, it's not just because we don't get along. Like I have people in my family that I just don't get along with. And as long as we don't talk about, you know, specific issues, we can chill over a meal. I'm okay with that. We can keep it
Right.
real above the surface. But I'm talking about dysfunctional, toxic, like you are negative, you are condescending, you are passive, you are verbally, emotionally, physically, spiritually abusive. Like, you know, I mean, because there are those people who have
Yeah.
just been dealing with some pretty shitty family members their whole life because they had to, that no longer have to. And we get to choose who we are going to have in our life. And
Let me
sometimes family gotta go. It just is what
But
it
see, but
is.
this is where I would, again, if you're talking about for one evening, and if you are not at that space, then I get it.
Right.
But say for you or say for me, I'm strong enough to deal with that for a few hours. And I stand on my own too enough to where you're not gonna walk over me or talk to me any type of way. I have a whole arsenal of
Right.
tactics I can use,
Right.
whether
Right.
I
Ways
could
to
be
shut this
nice,
down.
nasty. I
Right.
can, you know, intelligently correct you. I could be like, oh, hold on a second, and move around and
Right.
go to the other side. There's so many things I can do to diffuse a conversation when it's not going the way that is going to be productive. And I'm saying for people who are, so it's going big picture for me again. I have different expectation of those who have higher capacity. If
Right.
intellectually and emotionally it's clear that you have a higher capacity than maybe that person or some of your family members, I expect more out of you.
Right.
And I'm not saying, look, you ain't got to be their friend, you ain't got to buddy up with them all the time, and you got to call every weekend. But yeah, I can give you 5 to 6 hours twice a year.
At what time, though, does that become enabling their poor behavior? At what point do we get to say enough is enough?
No, you don't have to.
Enough is enough.
Like I said, I got a whole bag. You don't have to enable anything.
But you
It was
do if you tolerate the behavior by being in the same space with this person when you really would prefer to not be in the space with this person at all. And again,
that's
we're not
not
talking
how
about just like petty disagreements. Like we're talking about some real deep-seated family dysfunction and trauma and you know the type of shit that somebody needs to go to it. Well, a couple people need to go to the therapist for.
and that's different also. If someone has some deep traumas that they dealt with as kids or something that hasn't, you know, been resolved and it was some serious stuff, then yeah, that could be different. I didn't have any of that, so I can't speak to that. Number one. Number two, my family wasn't a fighting family, so it wasn't one of those Thanksgivings where somebody gonna break out in a fight or something. That wasn't never gonna happen.
That's a blessing because I've been at some of those
And
places
I know
before.
that when some people talk about toxic environments, that's what they're speaking to, and I'm like, all right, well, look, I can't argue that.
Well,
If
so think
somebody
about it. I
gonna
mean, you've got dynamics like maybe you've got a maybe you are not the family member, but there is a majority of family members or a family member in particular who is suffering from, just massive alcoholism or addiction, and you just
right,
don't want to be in that space anymore. Or maybe you've got somebody. What if you're the family member who comes to, Thanksgiving and you've come out of the closet? Now,
right.
you've acknowledged being gay or LGBTQ, and your whole family is just constantly berating you. Are you required to sit there and take that? No. What
No,
if you are now in a newfound interracial relationship of any variety, right? And you bring this person to your family, and your family has found a million reasons to tell you why you're wrong, they're wrong, da da da. Like, so at what point is a person, or maybe it's one of your kids is gay, or one of your kids is, into some shit that the family's not in. Maybe you've left the church. Like, maybe you've changed your philosophy, and your family is just not ever going to accept you for
you
who
don't
you
have
are.
to accept that, but like you don't have to accept me or my lifestyle or certain choices that I make.
But don't make it
But
uncomfortable for me. Don't make it bad for me while we're in this space with each
true,
other.
true that. And also the main thing is you respect my space.
Right.
This so not
Literally.
only that. So this
Literally.
is this and see this would be one of my answers. Okay, well, hey, I appreciate your question. I'd appreciate it even more if you asked me at another time outside of this family function.
Right.
Feel free to give me a
Right.
call tomorrow if you like.
Right.
You could have called me a
Right.
week ago. If you're really
Right.
concerned, then I'm always available.
Right.
Hit me up and we can have a conversation
Right.
about it. See,
Right.
I can go there's so many different ways that but again, you're going to respect my space. I'm
Right.
here to enjoy my family and eat some good food and have a good time.
And if
So
this
the
family
questions
member
that
has
you
continued,
have,
but if this family
there's
member has continued to show to you that they're not going to respect your space, at what
yes.
point do you just say, I'm not doing this anymore? If this person wants
I
to come,
don't
that's totally okay, but I choose to do something
yeah, that's
different.
and you know what? Maybe and let me say this. I don't know, but this when I go back and listen to some of my sister's stories, like some of her experiences with some of our extended family is totally different than my experiences.
Isn't that a
So
trip?
I think maybe people feel like they have the right to be more intrusive towards women than they do men. I don't know. But there's certain things like you can try that with me. And even like once I moved to Texas, and I was still young, I was still like a baby. I was in my early 20s, but I was a grown ass man and I paid my own bills. So you wasn't gonna be asking me a whole bunch of questions about stuff when I take care of mine. That
Right.
was just my like, and they learned that quick after about 2 questions. They're like, oh, this ain't the same cue.
I think
I guess I'll
right.
back up.
There is a way that they handle, the boys versus the girls a little differently in some of those situations. I do agree.
And maybe because women try to explain too much. I don't know. Y'all communicate too much. Where somebody like you could ask me a certain type of question, and I like to talk, but if I ain't in no, we ain't gonna do that right now.
Huh.
And that's it.
Right.
And it ain't gonna be it ain't gonna be no more questions about that.
Yeah.
So
It's a blessing if you have a family in which you don't feel the need to have to remove yourself from. That's a blessing. I think that most families do have a chaotic, dysfunctional component to it somewhere in there, but it's a beautiful thing if people are able to put some of that shit to the side for the meal, for the event, but there are just so many families that cannot. And those are the ones that I speak, in regards to is how long do we have to enable somebody's poor behavior, somebody's abusive ass behavior? Like, at what point do I get to say, I'm not doing this anymore? Like, example, family member, some people that I know had a family member over and started some massive fucking chaos, like massive chaos, had a fight in their home, broke some shit in the house, like just totally outlandish. However, the common denominator from all of these people's family was that this is how this person is. This is just what he does. And if we just kind of like act like it doesn't exist, then it doesn't exist. And in listening to this conversation about how so many family members absolutely enabled this person's shitty, piss poor disrespectful, disruptive behavior, I mean, I just sat back as a, as a listener in hearing this, and I thought to myself, there's no fucking way this person would ever be invited to my home. I don't care. You're not welcome. You're not coming. You are not
then that's the
reliable. Like, no, I'm not going to condone this bullshit. You're not going to have my name on the list of family members who have said, oh, just sweep it under the rug. No, you don't get to come no more. And that may be an extreme case for some people, but like you said, some holidays turn into some, some gunfights for some people's family dynamics, depending on how deep your traumas are.
Point, and I'm like, no, and I ain't bringing my kids around that. That's crazy.
Right,
now, the other thing that I think about is like, for me, and I guess from my experience, both of my grandmothers set the tone for anything that goes on in their house.
Right.
Now, so it wasn't gonna be no crazy stuff. It just wasn't gonna be, because they set the tone and you respect their house. Now, my grandfather, he passed a lot when I was like, he passed like when I was 15 or 16. But even then, he didn't talk a lot, but he was not feared, but it was like a different level of respect from him. He didn't even talk. I don't think I ever heard him yell or raise his voice, but whenever he said something, everybody listened.
Right.
And it was like, that's it. Like,
right.
Whenever he opened up his mouth, then the whole room got quiet.
Right.
So it was, anyway, my whole point is that type of stuff. And then so on my dad's side, wasn't nobody drinking no alcohol, so that wasn't going on. On my mom's side, like they I think they drunk, but I didn't even know it until I got grown. Like they wouldn't be around you doing it. So it's like, every time you come in, then they got something on the side of it. Boy, what you doing?
Right.
Go back there and play with them. But it was but that was they set the atmosphere for that.
Yeah.
So anytime you hear, like, I hear somebody acting crazy or going off, then it's like, All I would say is, if the person who sets the tone for the house or for the family, if they're the ones that's out of control, then I ain't no reason for you to go there, because
that's not gonna be
they the one helping set the tone, or they gaslighting people, or
whatever,
or they condone a lot of behaviors that you probably shouldn't. So
no, that's just super messy. That's dangerously messy. Yeah, I did not, and I can tolerate a lot of shit. I grew up with a lot of interesting individuals in different spaces of their life, and am not a judgmental person. So a person's woes in their personal life are not something that would deter me from being able to break bread with them. You know what I'm saying? So it for me, it has to be those issues of, it's toxic, it's dysfunctional, it has caused me pain over the course of my life, and I'm not willing to subject myself or my children to this type of shit. No, I'm just not. And I've
and I get, especially the children, is a different thing. Like, I'm not putting my children through anything unnecessarily.
No.
And then so I mean, if there's no redeeming qualities that you can get out of a holiday, then I would say. Now, if it's certain stuff like, if it's the certain cousin or the certain uncle that gets on your nerves, I'm not going to stay away from the rest of my family because one person gets on my nerve, or I don't want to deal with them. It's just a balance of what I'm trying to say. So it's because some people are fragile. People nowadays in today's society is fragile. So I'm like,
that's true.
Don't do it because you fragile and you scared somebody gonna hurt your feelings or they gonna upset you. So what?
Right.
You got people, you go to work, somebody potentially can upset you every single day.
Right.
So
you still go to work.
Yeah, but it's like, so I get what I'm not even saying you're wrong. I'm just saying there's a balance, because some people will listen to what you say and they will go the other direction with it, not even in their points. Like, they'll listen to what you say and run off of that, even though your points are valid and theirs are not.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, just okay. So in any instance, just ask yourself, is this a them problem or a me problem? And even when it is a them problem,
it's always a them problem.
Even when it is a them problem, you still got to ask yourself, is it also a me problem because I don't have the tolerance to deal with knuckleheaded people? Some instances will be like, no, that's toxic. You don't need to deal with that.
I choose not to.
I get that.
I get that choice. I get to choose. I get to choose that.
I agree with you. And I'm also standing on the line saying that there's another side to this, to where
two things can be right at the same time. If you ain't taught me nothing, you taught me that.
Like, everything isn't. See, and I don't know which podcast I was on, but I on some podcast, I don't know, maybe a year ago, we talked about the word toxic. I think this was in the relationship
we
podcast.
Talked about it here though too.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
We have talked about it.
And sometimes people grossly misuse the word toxic.
I agree.
And everything turns into toxic just because you ain't learned to get no patience.
True.
You haven't worked on your communication skills.
True.
You are easily triggered and offended. And now these people become toxic. So that's all I'm saying. Like, even though, just do a little self-reflection in the process too. And you could be told, they could be jerks, they could be creeps, they could be annoying. And with all that being said, am I a little bit oversensitive? Am I a little bit thin-skinned? You might not ask yourself the question, at least, though.
True.
That's all I'm saying. Don't totally look at somebody and don't reflect on yourself.
True. No, never that.
I'm not even disagreeing with you at all. I'm just giving balance to your statement. Because certain people,
well, because they run
the other way with
the extreme. Yeah, there are those that take it way to the extreme. Because you didn't get what you wanted for Christmas, and now you ain't fucking with your mama. Like, stop it. Like, stop it. Like, again, there's and you got to think about it. You know, by a time that a person is usually fed up with a loved one, so much things have happened prior to that moment where this may have just been, you know, the straw that broke the camel's back, and I'm done. Like, I'm just done. Like, a friend of mine, she was contemplating, you know, for weeks, like literally since Thanksgiving, because she was just nauseous with Thanksgiving, thinking about going to Dallas for her family Christmas. And she's got a really dysfunctional family, and, you know, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. She is, you know, been in recovery for years, so she's fucking serious and solid about staying healthy and you know, making sure that she never goes back to who she used to be. And so, you know, being diligent in your recovery, it's imperative that you change people, places, and things. My dad taught me that very, very, very young, early on. And so just sick to death about, you know, the thought of maybe having to not go to Dallas for her family Christmas. That's where all the siblings and grandkids and kids and everything is from. So earlier this year, her brother, these are all adults, like in their 50s, right? Her brother pulled a gun on my friend's daughter, who is 40 years old. So she's an adult woman. But so brother pulls gun on niece.
On her daughter, who's how old?
40. So the lady I know is she's in her 60s.
Right.
Her daughter's in her 40s. Her brother, so lady I know's brother, pulls a gun on niece, pulls a gun on my friend's daughter.
Right.
Earlier in the year. My friend is here. She's not in Dallas. It probably saved her brother's life that my friend is here, because she couldn't go and deal with it the moment that it happened. She had time to sit and think and reflect. So this past Christmas, my friend had told her family, if he's coming to Christmas, don't expect me and my children to be here.
Right.
Like, don't fucking expect us to be here.
Right.
They were pissed at her for asking that of the family. My friend said, I will have Christmas with my children. We will have Christmas in Dallas elsewhere, but I'm not coming, and I'm not bringing my children if he's coming to dinner. It was basically shut down. They kind of laughed about it. Oh, y'all need to get over it. My friend was not going to go to Dallas. Last minute, her fucking kids beg her to come up. She decides to go to Dallas. Who the fuck was at dinner? Brother who pulled the gun on niece. At what point, and that may not be everybody's family dynamic, right? But at what point do we get to say, fuck no, I'm not subjecting myself or my children to somebody's shit anymore, or the family members who have co-signed on enabling that behavior.
Right.
And granted, that may feel like an extreme situation for some people, but it's the same thing as the family who enables and sweeps things under the rug at the discretion of other people.
That is correct. So it goes back to what I was saying. The moment that people refuse to respect your space. Now, pulling a gun is definitely not respecting your space. But even trying to force me to answer questions that I don't want to answer at this time.
Right.
You stepping into my space.
Right. True.
And you don't have, I don't care if we're family or blood or related or whatever. If you were a part of my daily life, then you'd already know these things. But since you are not, and you are show up on Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas type every once in a while, and at a funeral I see you, then you know you don't have you don't have a right to expect an answer. So even if you ask me, I was like, nah, we ain't doing that. Then no, we're not doing that. And anything past that, then you don't respect my space, and I do have the right to remove my. Now let me say this is the other, it's a lot of dynamics in this. If that's how your whole family is, then it's like ain't no getting. Now if it's just one or two aunties or somebody like that, move around and talk to your other auntie.
No, it's pretty crunk all the way through. She's the only person. She's the only person who's not in active addiction.
If everybody like that, and there ain't even no safe place to get to, then no, that ain't the environment.
But in her mind, because their mom just passed 2 years before, so in her mind, she still has it in her spirit that like I'm supposed to.
Forget that.
Be with family, like I'm supposed to. And so she struggled with that.
Hold on, this is the fix also. So number one, what I was about to say is if everybody in the house act like that, then that speaks to an environment. The whole environment, you can't get like, nah, we just not gonna do that. One or two people can possibly taint an environment, but one or two outliers, especially in a family gathering, that doesn't speak to the entire environment. So I wouldn't just not show up or go somewhere else just because one or two people. Now, that ain't got nothing to do with somebody pulling a gun on you. You know, that's totally different. Now, the other thing I was going to say, let me see if I can remember. Now, on the front end, if all you do is you have to cultivate relationships throughout the year. You can't see, this is people's problems a lot of time. They try to use Thanksgiving, Christmas, or funerals to catch up. And catching up is not cultivating a relationship.
Right.
If you serious, and even I don't know your friend, but if your friend feels like she needs to be there, that's what she's supposed to do. What she needs to do is you got to start cultivating these relationships throughout the year. You got to actually get to know people, allow them to get to know you to a certain extent as much as possible. So then it's not all of this extra stuff whenever you meet up once a year. That's part of the problem. You really don't know each other. You knew this person as a kid. Y'all knew each other when y'all was kids. As adults, y'all don't know each other. You don't know your triggers. You don't know the life struggles. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what bills they got laying on the table. You don't know if their lights turned off you don't know none of this stuff about them.
And here you are coming in here just telling me about this and telling me about
like
that.
You know them and you don't. And that's what sets people off a lot of time. Because just because you're family, a lot of people feel like they have the right to step in your inner space. And the truth is you don't.
You
We're
don't.
related by blood, but you do not know me. I can count 10 people I'm not related to who know me better than you right now.
Right.
So
Right.
that's the other part of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of dynamics that go into a reason for a person deciding to withdraw from family members. But there is certainly loss involved in that. I definitely agree with Maria. There is a loss involved in that because at the end of the
Right.
day, your heart of your hearts wants to be with the people that you instinctively love, but if you make it hard for me to love you, you did that. I didn't do that. You did that.
Then ask yourself this one. I'm going back to mature adults. If this person, if they don't know you, you can ask yourself, is there any responsibility on my part because this person doesn't know me as well as they should?
Right.
Am I reaching out to my family members the way that I should?
Sure.
Am I sharing? Am I showing a certain level of transparency so that people can, and I ain't talking about me just posting pictures on Facebook whenever I go on vacation. That ain't the same thing.
No, it's not.
Are you reaching out to people? Did you call them and tell them happy birthday? And just the holidays itself is enough for you to stay and give you an excuse to stay in touch with people. It's a new year. Happy New Year's. I ain't want nothing. I just wanted to call, tell you Happy New Year's. Hope everything going fine. How's it going? How's your job going? How the little baby doing?
Well, this goes back to the first
What's
thing
going
that
on
you
with
said.
you?
This goes back to what you said at the very beginning, is people don't have relationships the same way that they used to, or people don't know how to have relationships anymore the way that they used to. They do think that just engaging on Facebook here and there, social media here and there, looking at my pictures and liking my kids' pictures and woo woo is somehow a substitute connection for actually.
They think that because that's what everybody else doing right now.
Or they think that because that's what works for them. Maybe they think that, oh, hey, well, we're staying connected,
Not
so
just
we're
that,
good.
who this hypothetical person who represents a lot of people, who do they have that reaches out to them and sets that type of example?
Or
see,
do
Big
they
Mama,
have anybody?
I tell you who it used to be. People like my grandmother.
Right.
And they gone now.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff, even my grandmother, the parents, aunts, uncles, stuff like that, they don't possess that type of show you the way type of.
Do you think that's because that's what social media has done? Because we're not going to sit here and act like social media and culture has not damaged relationships.
Social media has done that, but the bigger problem is there's not another force to counteract that behavior. So like I said, social media does certain things, and it's this type of fake facade communication in life. But I would have my grandmother who didn't do social media, and she call you.
Right.
Say, baby, how you doing? What's going on? So you know what I'm saying? So you had that life, but then you had the other life, the other real type life stuff that showed you the necessity of face-to-face communication, actually picking up the phone and calling somebody, those things. And now I don't think that there's that balance is gone because social media is getting stronger. As social media gets stronger, the people who lived in those type of real community relationships, grandmama, granddaddy, all they gone. That's fading away.
Right.
So it's just an imbalance, and people don't know. So again, my question is, from who do they get that example from? And again, I keep saying this over and over. I am extremely thankful for free thinkers because it teaches. I'm like a professional talker now, even though I do it for sales, but now not just number one, I'm a professional talker, but free thinkers it consistently shows me the need for face-to-face communication. And I know I see the need for it with people that I deal with, talk to, people who DM me constantly. They reach out to me because they like, Q will actually speak. He'll actually speak to me. Whereas like, I don't know if it's another person to speak to. So it's, I see the value of it. And I just don't think a lot of people have exposure to it. And it's definitely becoming a lost art.
Well, and I think as more families become estranged from each other, as people I just think that as time passes and dynamics within families change, it's very easy to get away from that which we had growing up. Grandma checking on us, grandma writing us a letter, grandma calling us, grandma, would. It's funny to think about like my grandparents in the age of social media. I mean, all my grandparents are passed now, but I had a grandma and grandpa on my mom's side, and then I had a grandma and grandpa on my dad's side. I had another grandma on my dad's side. I mean, so I had both maternal and paternal grandparents, thankfully, and I just couldn't imagine them trying to keep up with the demands of social media branded relationships today. Like, it's easy for us, I think, and definitely going to be easier for our children as they grow. But then I wonder, like, are our kids going to miss that mark? Are our kids going to have that connection lost because we aren't granny and granddaddy yet, who are checking in on people and fostering relationships? I mean, not to say that we don't foster relationships, but most people, their only communication with the outside world is social media.
It's gonna be worse.
Damn it. That makes me sad.
Yeah, it is. I've seen it. Like, we've been doing this for, I don't know, 5, 6 years, whatever. I've been
7 years in January.
Back meeting of the mind. I've been doing like
it's our birthday month.
Oh yeah. Look at that.
Our birthday month.
But that's what I'm saying. I've been doing the meeting of the minds thing since 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
So I've seen it.
Right. Right.
Like now versus 13 years, and the messed up thing is, like it's like you on a little wooden raft, and you just slowly fading out to sea, slowly, but nobody else sees. Like we getting stranded out here in the middle of nowhere, and we're getting further and further away. But nobody sees it because it happens slowly and it happens gradually. But it is sad when I feel like I'm one of the only people who actually sees it and like I notice it in real time.
So what do you think that is? Why do you think that a majority of other people don't see it? Why are they choosing not to see it? Are they so addicted to what social media is that they are unable to grasp that?
It's a lack of exposure. Freethinkers meeting of the mind exposes me to face-to-face conversation.
Right.
When I'm exposed to it every week, I know the value of it.
Right.
When you're not exposed to something, then you don't even know what you're missing anymore.
Yeah. Damn. And it's a trip, right? Because we started this off as in a room, like it was nothing but in-person, face-to-face conversation.
Right.
Well before Freethinkers, I think I came around with Meeting the Minds, I guess probably 7, 8 years ago now. And of course, Freethinkers has been Freethinkers since, I think it's our 5th birthday. It's either our 5th or our 6th birthday. So we've seen the change from being in a room.
2017.
Yeah. It was 17.
We're going on number 6. Look at that.
January 17. Because because at that time we were like, no, we would never take this online. Like, this is personal shit. Like, nobody's gonna be down for this. Like, no, we want to keep this room sacred. And then COVID happened, and it was like, we're gonna go online. And and I know some people were very reluctant, and some people have never joined us because we're online, but it still gives. It does for me, anyways. It still gives me.
I'm still out. I'll just be talking like ain't nobody else listening but me.
I
like
do too. I do too. And sometimes I forget that, like, you can go in here and play on any of these conversations that we have, and you can hear our thoughts.
Only
But
time I'm just mindful that I don't cuss as much. That's the only thing I
no,
stay mindful about.
one of us has to be like an adult here, so I'm glad that it's
I mean, hey, you catch me offline, then you
I mean, that's a
give
whole
me
nother
full
ballgame.
yeah, you give me full, totally unfiltered.
But I think that for everybody who's ever done free thinkers, especially for those people that started off with us in the room, there's always been that this is different. Like this is different. This is what I need. This is what drives me to show up every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. And and now that of course they're doing it online, this is what drives people to set Tuesday night aside. Like people don't like when people hit me up and they're like, "Oh, I watched the show last night." I'm like, "Do you know how much I fucking love that?
Yeah.
Do you know how much I appreciate somebody telling me I watched the show last night?" Or like my boy Sergio, he'd be like, "I listen to it every Wednesday on the way to work or the way home from work." He's like, "I can't catch it Tuesday night, but I listen Wednesday morning." And it's like, even though I don't know that you're watching, there is a connection that is still formed from people that are listening to us and watching us and engaging with us and everybody who participates with us, that it's like the common theme feedback is, "Y'all are so real. Y'all are so real. Y'all are so real. Like what y'all do, like it's fucking amazing. Like I love being a part of something. It's so dynamic. Everybody is so passionate." And it's like, in my mind, sometimes I still think that that's how everybody is, but I know that's not the reality. I know that's not fucking true. I know it's not true.
I get reminded often, and then I and then I have to go back up. Okay, hold on, not on free thinkers. Let me like I'll just like, all right,
I'm dealing with regular people. No.
Right. I mean, I don't. It's not like that. I don't want to put it like that, but I'm dealing with people who have very little exposure to conversation like this.
Yeah.
So it's I will try to dial it back because it's just natural for me. I was at
me too.
I was at I think my friend's Christmas party, and he had some friends there, and we pulled out some of these little these cards. It's just designed for conversation and debate or whatever like that. We pulled out some of those cards and started reading them, and we just start going. People start giving their opinion, and I'm like challenging everybody's opinion. like
oh, wait a minute.
Like, I'm like, all right, sorry.
It's funny that you say that, because there's times where people will try to bring me into something, and I'm like, you don't want to bring me into this conversation. You don't want to do that. And I don't know if I want to be brought into this conversation, because I don't half-ass a conversation.
Right.
I'm not gonna half-ass my vulnerability or my transparency. Like I'm not. You're gonna get 100 or you're gonna get none. So knowing that everybody is not prepared for that.
I got levels. I definitely got levels.
Bad thing. It just is what it is.
Right.
And so for that, that's also reason why I'm very selective about who I spend my time with. And that can translate down into the holidays and family functions, or just certain things that you're expected to do ABC because that's what you're supposed to do. Right. But supposed to by who? By society's definition? Because I'm not about that. Like, nah, right. I'm not about that.
Yeah, if there's no value in it at all, then just
true.
Yeah,
true. That's interesting.
If there's some, I'm always I'm always a trier. Like I'm a relational person.
Yeah.
So it's like if this doesn't work, then why doesn't it work? And if it don't work, then is there anything I can do to activate positive energy in this relationship?
Sure.
Because everything, a lot of stuff ain't gonna be fixed overnight.
No,
and some things I can acknowledge. Some certain things like, no, this ain't. Nope, we don't need to deal with each other at this point in time, at this stage in our lives. But is there something that I can do to ignite positive energy and plant seeds for the future? And that might just be sending a text saying Happy New Year.
Right.
That might be all we can do at this point in time right now.
Right.
That might be it.
Right.
But it that can plant a seed of, we not effing with each other right now, but I don't have ill will towards you. Right. Happy New Year. Like it's small seeds that you could plant, and maybe they might send something, say happy Easter to you. And you might text them back, say happy birthday. You're planting slow seeds, and maybe 5 years down the road, you might be able to be cordial when you see somebody at Thanksgiving.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But all of those things, that's just the way I look at it. That's the way I look at, like, what can I do to take the relationship a step forward? And it can be little stuff. We ain't got to have come to Jesus meeting and we hug it out and cry and do all that and say everything you did wrong to me and I did. No, you ain't got to do all of that. We could take baby steps. Right. See if we could be cordial. If we could be cordial, we could be friendly. If we could be friendly, we might be able to share some of our thoughts and feelings with each other. And then let's see where that goes.
Well, and I think that knowing, like you said, knowing when the time is right is key, because you may be ready, that person may not be ready. That person may be ready, you may not be ready. And you cannot get mad if somebody else is not ready. You can't. You can't be mad if they're not ready.
Right. So if I send a text say Happy New Year's, they don't send it back like, all right, well, hey, I ain't ready yet.
That's my side of the street, not yours. I took care of what I needed to take care of. I'm not responsible.
Try again on Juneteenth, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that there was just an easy way to like snap and make it all better, and everybody's families would be all happy, love, yay, functional and all that shit. But that's not reality, And I applaud people who, as they have aged and wisdom has grown, and their own cycles they've been able to break. People who are serious about their own boundaries and about their own healing and about their own respect of self. That nobody gets to hurt me anymore. Nobody gets to be hurtful,
Not at all.
And that's tough for a lot of people. A lot of people will suffer every fucking holiday for the rest of their lives to make their mom happy or make their dad happy or make a grandparent happy and do things out of obligation. And I am so against doing things out of obligation. And it's gotten worse as I've gotten older and been able to set myself apart from a lot of the ties that bind from other people. That it's not easy for me to write somebody off, or it's not easy for me to cancel somebody out of my life, or it's not easy for me to choose to be withdrawn or estranged from people that I do actually fucking love. But it's a survival skill. If it's gonna be me versus you, it ain't gonna be me. I'm gonna be all right. And it's just unfortunate that some of us have had to, be that way, but it is.
Right. And see, and it's okay.
It's
confusing to me how people give, I don't know, I get confused how people give power to other people, either because that's their relative or that's an elder, or now I get, the mother father thing, I get that. If you having issues of beef with your mom or dad or grandparents or somebody that's directly above you, but like cousins, uncles, aunts, stuff like that's the part I don't understand, because I don't know how I could never give your opinion more power than I give to those who really know me. So if my mother sees me and respects me in a certain light, my father sees me, respects me in a certain light, my fiance sees me, respects me in a certain light, my sisters, those who are closest to me, if you don't see me the way that they see me, and if you don't respect me the way that they respect me, them actually knowing me and you kind of knowing me from back when we was a long time, like, you don't really know me. So if you don't at least see me in that light, then your words don't carry any power with me.
True.
I'll dismiss you like, oh, they still immature. They still stuck back in 1997. That's too bad for them. And it's like, oh, okay. And I handle you differently. And it's not even that I'm not condescending. I'm not belittling, but it's like, you ain't on my level. I know that sound harsh, but it's like
my time and energy.
Mentally, you're not on my level mentally. So it's that would be pitiful for me to take issue with you, because you're not there.
Right.
I don't know, that sounds kind of weird, but
no,
it sounds kind of harsh, but that's really the way I look at it.
Right.
So even when I hear people talk about that, I have conversations like, why are you giving this person that much power?
And it could be an issue of people wanting to still find a way to connect. So, you know, they always say hit dog gonna holler, right? So maybe the person wants there to still be this connection. But one of the things that I have definitely been adamant about in my communication with other people and when people come to me for advice and just in the counseling world is to stop expecting us from other people. Like that changes the dynamic in
Right.
so many situations is that just because I may do XYZ in this situation, damn sure does not mean this other person is
Right.
going to do XYZ. So do not expect that. Do not get your hopes set up high. They're going to get shattered. You're going to be disappointed. You're going to get let down. You're going to have your feelings hurt. But if you would have went into it with the right mindset first, those things are a lot less likely to happen, or they hurt a little bit differently. But then again, there's the next level up where there becomes a disassociation from some people because it's necessary, right? Like it's cool to, you know, agree to disagree and have different mindsets about different things, and maybe we don't, you know, jive on the same topics or whatever. But like you said, you know, respecting my space is not just exclusively physical. Like respecting my space is mentally, respecting my space is spiritually, respecting my space is it is certainly physical too. Because a lot of people's abuses are not physical. A lot of people's abuses are, you know, just constantly digging and digging and digging and poking and digging and digging and poking and digging and digging at people. And eventually some people are just tired of it. So it isn't just can I manage this for a couple hours for Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner? Like it's I don't want to engage with that energy anymore. I don't want to engage with that person anymore. And some people are just that unpleasant to be around that it's okay to cut ties. I mean,
It is. It
what they
is.
say, you handed me the fucking scissors. So, I mean, if you hand me the scissors, I'm go ahead and snip it, you know, because there just comes a point where I don't have to do this anymore. I don't have to do this anymore.
That is true. Now, let me say this. I'm stand on the fence. When you on one side, I agree with you. I agree with you on the fence. I'm stand on the fence real quick. Now, you still, another thing you can ask yourself is how many people have I had to cut off? Now, if you got a dozen people that you had to cut off, my bet or my guess is that you got some work that you probably need to do as well.
And that's probably true.
When you got to cut everybody off because of, to the point that you got some work to do.
Yeah, you just got a real fucked up family. You got a real, and some people do got some real.
And some people, but even
family.
with that, if you grow, and this goes back to the original part of the conversation, if you grow, you can manage, maneuver, and survive 4 hours.
Sure.
With your family. Now, I'm with you. You can choose not to. Like, I ain't doing it. But for people who, like you said, you get nervous. Your nerves get bad. All of this stuff.
Yeah.
And you thinking about it weeks before it.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be.
Right.
It shouldn't be.
Well, that's how you know the level in which dysfunction is and how great it is in some families. Like some of us, our families are just fucking toxic from one end to the other, you know. And unfortunately, when you come from a toxic, dysfunctional family, whether substance abuse, whether sexual abuse, whether it's physical abuse, when you really truly have those types of abuses present, it's a family system thing. And it never is just one person of the family. But the family covers up for the family. The family tries to protect sometimes still. Like, and in those actions, other people get hurt. Yeah. And so there are some times where for a person's own personal sanity, hey, if I got to cut all you motherfuckers off, I guess that's what I got to do, you know? And does that mean the person has to be gone forever? No, maybe they got to stand on their feet for a while. Maybe they have to figure out how do I deal with people, you know, they have to serenity prayer people 24/7. Like these are things that which I cannot control. But again, for me, it still boils back down to, am I required to? Am I required to?
I had different people who were actually draining to me. Like,
yeah.
After I got done having a conversation with them, I literally felt drained.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
let me say this. What I realized is that's who they were. Their personality drained my personality. When I developed a different level of tolerance, I developed when my mindset opened up, especially to the point to where I had a shift in mindset of I'm no longer trying to make or get people to see or do or respond or behave any type of way.
Right.
Then
that's a big game changer too.
They were those people are no longer draining. They're still the same people. Same people.
Right,
Exact same
right,
people.
right.
They don't drain me anymore. And I'm trying to think. I don't know if I have a person that drains me like that anymore. Because I've learned I'm not trying to control a person's thoughts or what they, what they think, how they respond, no, I'm not trying to do that anymore. So I don't get drained by that. And on top of that, I've also, I control my time.
Yeah.
So if they long-winded and they talk, all right, hey, I got to move around. I got some stuff to do, but I'm gonna hit you up.
Right.
And I just cut it.
Right.
Like I don't.
Right.
You can't hold me hostage on the phone. My time is my time.
Right.
And when I say my time is up, then it's up.
Right.
Now, before when I guess I caught myself trying to be polite to people and trying, I'd stay in atmospheres longer than I needed to, and it would drain me. You learn more. It's like, okay, yo, hey, got some shaking and moving. I got to take over the world. Good talking to you. I'm gonna get up with you soon, though. That's it.
Yeah.
And I will, and we can have the same conversation again next week.
Right.
Because I'm not drained.
Right.
I control this circle. I control my circle.
Yeah. See, I guess the part of me that is funny in dealing with draining people is I just don't fucking want to deal with you anymore. I just don't. And that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with me. I'm not saying that everything is always somebody else, but there are just some people where I just ain't got it in me. I don't, because my time is valuable, because my energy is valuable, because I know I give so much of me intensely and intently to other people. When an engagement is happening, I'm just not. Now I can move.
That's probably just with men with you.
No, God, no. There's women too that I just don't tolerate, but men don't get it easy at all. But definitely with women, I don't tolerate that.
The reason I said that is because even in those scenarios, at this stage in my life, I don't have people come to me talking crazy or about crazy. Like people know what arena to be with me in.
Right.
Like if you start getting on a whole negative vibe, I'm gonna get real silent. I don't have a lot of responses for negativity, and or it's like, okay, so what you gonna do? What's your resolve? Like if you venting, that's one thing, but I really I'm looking to give resolve or solutions. Outside of that, then people know not to talk to me, because if you want a pity party, they learn I'm the wrong person to come to for a pity party. You're not gonna get it.
Right.
I will sympathize with you for about 2 minutes, and then it's like, all right, well, this is what you need to do. And I'm assuming you called me because you wanted some feedback. Because ain't nobody in their right mind gonna call me and not think I'm gonna give them some opinion. So anyway, my whole point is people know what they're getting when they speak to me. So I was laughing with I was laughing with my girl because I was talking to one of my friends, and I was like, it was funny to me because they know now, like if I call Q, don't you only got a couple minutes to talk negative or feel sorry for yourself. And outside of, and it was funny because I could hear him talking, and every time he say something negative, and but I'm gonna fix it. And I'm about to get my, like he know
right,
the conversation.
right.
And every time he
right.
could hear himself going down that hole, and he but no, but I gotta, and
Yep,
he just like,
yep,
that's right. I'll be like, that's
yep,
right. You own it.
yep,
You right.
yep. And that's a beautiful thing, though. You know what I'm saying? That's being able to be introspective to yourself.
Right.
Because you hear yourself say it, but you're like, self, goddamn it, like, come on, pull yourself up, get it together. And I realize everybody may not have that capability, but I think that, I think that words are important. I think that how you speak to yourself is important.
Right.
I think that the words that you use are very important. So if you talk poorly to yourself, you're going to reach a poor vibration. If you're able to split that somehow and still find that higher vibration, find that strength, find that love, find that positivity, find that silver lining, even if it's real fucking small, being able to talk yourself out of some of that is definitely it's definitely a blessing, and
I will find myself, I'll catch myself, like I have a lot of friends who are in business and either entrepreneurs on their own business, and those who are successful, I gotta watch the way I talk. I can't come up here talking about a bunch of excuses. Yeah, I would do this, but it's still, I just got to do this. No,
right.
Don't call. It's certain people I don't call talking about why I have not done a certain thing yet.
Right.
Because they're not hearing that.
Right.
Like, what? No. What you mean you haven't because of what?
You don't have time. What you mean you ain't got time?
What you mean you ain't got time? What you mean there's an obstacle in your way?
Right.
An obstacle, that's Tuesday.
But that's the fucking
There's always an obstacle on you.
That's the beauty of iron sharpening iron, though. And that has been probably one of the greatest gifts I've ever been given by so many people, is the ability to be in a room with people smarter than me, stronger than me, with more wisdom than me, and able to give that to me by default in conversation, or just learning, watching, observing. Like that's the beauty of iron sharpens iron. And I guess for me, that's one of the reasons why I am so very particular about my time, my space, and who I allow in both of those places. So if you are not where I am, if you are not on the level in which I am, there's just going to be some people that are not invited to that circle in any way.
Edward said, them long-winded conversations be draining me faster than AA batteries in a TV remote.
Them generic AA batteries at that.
Generic, the ones you get from the dollar store.
And you be tapping them together, trying to get them to work.
But okay, so this is the thing I say about that, though. Yes, they can see, but the reason, like I said, when I start saying I start cutting people off, whatever time I give them, people know I'm giving you my full attention. So if I cut you off, regardless, if I cut you off at the 10 minutes, those 10 minutes I gave you my full attention. And the next time I talk to you, I'm gonna give you my full attention. So even the people who I'm close to, they understand that 7 minutes of my full attention is better than somebody else listening for 30 minutes and they're not really paying attention, or they don't even have any feedback to give you, or they're not taking your life and incorporating it with their own.
It goes back to half-ass.
Right. So then the next time I speak to them, after I cut you off, the next time I call you next week, so how did such and such go, or whatchamacallit, how you do? And I will pick up where I left off, because I'm letting you know I was listening to everything that you said.
Right, I heard
I'm taking it in. I'm paying attention.
And everybody really wants to be validated. And in real life, we all want to be validated. So
in those situations, yeah, I can cut people off then, because they know I'm listening to them.
Yeah. And I, for one, am okay with that. I just am. I just am. And that doesn't mean that people are necessarily disposable, because I fucking love and adore the people that are for me. I fucking love and adore the people that are for me. And I'm not always the best friend. I'm not always the one that fosters and calls and checks up on. Like I am that person. Does that mean I could do better? Yes, of course I could, but I love with 100%. So when I've reached the point where this just does not work for me anymore, I'm at peace with that. And I applaud people who have also found that space, because it hurts, but they say it hurts letting go and it hurts hanging on, right? One of them is gonna hurt a little bit differently when it's
You just
all
made
said
me.
and
You
done.
made me think of something real stupid.
Oh
But I'm
God,
gonna
what?
run this by you.
What?
It had to be me. I'm now must be sleepy. So when you said, you know, you love 100%, I was thinking in my mind, like, yeah, you know what? I agree. She does. But then this is what I was thinking also. And I really believe her even more because she said 100%. Now it's those people who be like 110,
120,
150%.
190%.
Like now you're overdoing it. Now I don't believe you. You trying to sell yourself too hard now.
Right.
100% should be enough. Why you got to go to 150%?
Right, because I'm gonna go above and beyond, but 100% is the max. I mean, it's the max. That's all
That's
you got.
the max.
That's
So by the
100%
time
of
somebody starts going over 100%, the higher over 100% they go, the less I believe them.
shit you are. I'm so gonna be
That
grateful.
was my stupid thought of the day. That was my stupid thought of the day.
Because you be seeing it. I'll give 110%. You can't. There's only 100. You can't. Like you gave extra credit? What the fuck?
Right.
Like extra credit on the percentage?
So now and what that's also saying is in their mind, they feel that they do above and beyond the average person or above and beyond what any other person does. Like their level of effort is special unbeknownst to the average human.
Like I'm better than just 100%. I'm 110, 150. Like, stop it. The only time that's valuable is when those are earnings at the casino. You have made 150 times back.
Right. There you
or
go.
200 times back what you put out.
That's it.
but I do. So for me, you know, that's why I'm okay with some relationships just coming to an end. It just is. And I also believe that, you know, people are seasonal. Some people's seasons are very long. Some people's seasons are very short. You know, that's kind of been one of the blessings of the last couple years for me, is understanding that it is okay that some people are not there forever. Some people don't have, you know, a permanent place in your life. They may have a permanent place in your heart and your spirit and your mind because you have memories with them, but they're not going to be there actively. I was listening to a guy yesterday on Instagram or something, and he was like, I've had to come to the realization that I'm a seasonal friend. Because I've had more relationships with more people where I'm not a forever friend. And it wasn't like because they're doing me dirty or anything like that. It's just when they've got out of me whatever they needed, or I got out of them whatever I needed, or we got out of each other what we were needing at that moment, it was over. And I thought about it for a while. I was like, damn, am I a seasonal friend? But I'm not. Like I'm
I could pass on. I mean, that's good that you realize that, but I ain't signing on the seasonal. If seasonal happens, then it happens.
Right.
But I'm not signing on at the jump for seasonal type of.
And
that's not my
in my spirit to be like I can't keep redoing this over and over and over. Like I can't do this 50 more times with 50 new people. Like I think that's one of the reasons why I'm not a dater, why I don't like to engage, you know, with new people in large amounts, because I'm like, I'm not trying to just keep doing this over and over and over. Like
I can say the level of friendship can be seasonal sometimes. Like sometimes you'll be really close and really tight with someone for a season, and then that it'll kind of fall away. Not that you stop being friends, but
life changes.
You're not gonna, but you're not gonna be close besties for the rest of you. And you know that can be seasonal sometime, and I get that.
Right.
You know, and there's friends that I had that I was super close with at one point in time, and life just takes you in different directions.
It does.
We still love each other, and we friends, and we close when we see each other as much as we can, but life doesn't allow us to be at the level, at the frequency that we were at one point in time. And I don't think anything is wrong with that.
Though. Not all people can adjust to those changes.
But that's just life, though. Right.
I agree. And that's part of the being balanced versus not balanced. Like I am very okay with a majority of the girlfriends that I've had for 25 plus years. I am a, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of girl. Like I fucking love my people. There have been more times than not with most of my girls where we have gone months and months and months and months and months without talking to each other, well before fucking social media ever filled that void, I think. And when we talk, we pick up like nothing. If something happened, I'm ready with a shovel and duct tape and a shower curtain in my trunk. Like, you just let me know where to be at, and you know I'm going to show up. Like, I've never been a high maintenance friend. And so I think that I've been fortunate that that has been reciprocated in the women that I've known, that our seasons are 20 years long. Our seasons are going on 30 years long for some of us. Yeah. But some people can't handle that. Some people have to have that constant communication, that constant reassurance, that, and I don't know those people. I don't know if I could be a friend to somebody who, I can do that for my children and I can do it for the man that I'm sharing my life with. But I don't know if I could give that much of me all the time to another person. Like, so that's what you talk about now. Is this a me problem or a them problem? You might got some shit you got to figure out if you constantly need your friend all the time. Like,
my best friend hit me up a couple weeks ago, and we don't talk often. He live in Memphis. We talk 3-4 times a year, every 2 to 3 months, 3 to 4 months sometime we talk. But yeah, he just hit me up out of nowhere, like, hey. He was like, man, I forgot what he said. I was playing basketball or something, this and this, and I just realized. He was like, this is our 30-year friendship anniversary, man. Wow. I just want to tell you I love you, man. It was like, I'm like, God dang, 30 years?
Damn, you know, Q.
That's crazy. Yeah. So yeah, good moment, I was like, dang, it's hard to think about it, being friends with somebody for 30 years.
30 years, yep.
So.
And that means something. So that was kind of like, for me, that was, all of this was like my whole thought behind tonight's topic. It wasn't so much of not having discipline to be able to do things any other day of the year. Like, the whole new year, new me shit is so tired, right?
We ain't get into the conversation we had earlier. We get to that another time.
I mean, but it's so tired to the whole new year, new, like, anybody who says new year, new me is likely full of shit. Sorry if a hit dog hollers, it is what it is. For me though, and I'm not one of those people who does New Year's resolutions, because kind of like what we talked about before we had show, like, I subscribe to the theory of every day you wake up is a new day to be something new. It's a total new opportunity to create whatever you want, or at least plant the seeds to be able to manifest into something, right? But there is, and I had this conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and he was like, no, this is stupid. He was like, he just was completely anti the changing of the year, right? But I said, there are some people who, there is a closure that happens when one season ends, when one year ends, and there's just the opportunity, looking down a 12-month calendar, 365 brand new, unplanned, completely fresh, white page days, that for some people, there's a rebirth that happens from, December 31st to January 1st. And in this year was the first time that I think I have felt excitement towards, get this fucking year out of here. And it wasn't a horrible year for me. I mean, I think the worst year of my life was 2019 when my dad passed. That was the absolute worst time. But I realized in these last 3 years, the level of grief that I have been drowning in. And then COVID happened, loss of business. I haven't had a paycheck in 3 fucking years. Like, how do I even have a house anymore? How do we still have food on the table? Like, I don't have a partner. My mother's not here. My dad's gone. Like, there's just so many parts to life that I have absolutely been held hostage by. Making bad decisions with other relationships, allowing certain things, people, and places into my life that really don't deserve a place there. But because I'm operating in this space that is not maybe honoring my boundaries, honoring my who I am, like the ability to close the lid on some of that and to have had closure up through the end of the year, like I was looking so forward to just this whole brand new calendar of whatever you want this to be. And it can be that every single day. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. But something about 365 brand new white page days is like the vision in my head is just, it's infinite. And it's infinite on February 3rd, and it's infinite on August 2nd, and it's, you know, it's infinite on any other day too. But I felt like there was a lot of people who were in the place that I was. And I think that what the pandemic has done to a lot of people, we're kind of like coming out of it, right? Like most of us are all kind of slowly peeling ourselves out of this shit that's changed over the last couple of years, that people are just ready for life again, ready for some control of their life again. And so it wasn't about looking at what's happened in 2022, because it's kind of reflecting on bullshit, right? And that defeats the purpose. It's the commitment to change. It's the commitment to wanting to change. It's the desire to acknowledging that change has to happen. And this is the day I'm going to start it. You know, some people it was January 1st, some people it was Monday. You know, but it's significant for a lot of people, I feel like, this year, and not in the new year, new me shit. Like, no, it's way deeper than that. You, however, felt like it was, what'd you say? You thought it was lazy because you could do it any other time of the year. And I was like, no, wait a minute. I do agree with you on one hand.
So, okay, this is what I say oftentimes. There's truth. There's levels of truth.
Right.
So there is a level of truth, you know. There are times and seasons do mean something. There are seasons like natural seasons, winter, spring, summer, fall. There are spiritual seasons. There are seasons, and when numbers mean something. So when certain things change, then it actually changed. So there is truth to that. That's a level of truth that I do acknowledge. But then on the higher level of truth is
right.
The time is whenever you're ready for the time to be.
True. And
once you're ready, then it don't matter if it's January 1st or March 14th.
Right.
See, because then then what happens if you get into March and things are not going the way that you want it to go? Are you going to wait for the new year to hit again before you say some things got to change? Or you just going to make a decision right now? No. Let's change this now.
Well, so I think that
I will have a good day today. I will have a better life. For people
who are subscribing to the theory of change, it's like any other recovery program. You have to work on this every day. Every day you have to make
it is, but I guess the highest level of truth I'm trying to say is the power, the most power in any change is right here within you for yourself.
True.
January 1st does not have more power of change than your decision to think differently, to speak differently, to walk differently, to take action. That's the that's the strongest, most potent power that you have is you. It's all inside of you right there. It's infinitely stronger than the clock switching to January 1st.
Right.
So why I'm speaking on a higher level of truth. I'm not saying that the other one is wrong, because there is truth to that also.
Right.
But why would you lend more power to January 1st than you will to yourself when you are the real power? January 1st is firecracker, and you are the nuclear bomb. You have so much more power than just a day.
Well,
anyway, that's just my thought.
I agree with that. In most of my life, I have always operated in the way in which you're describing. Like, not every day that you wake up breathing is an opportunity to change. No doubt about that.
And I'm not speaking to you directly. You're saying you felt something shift.
Oh,
You felt something
absolutely.
shift.
Yeah, absolutely.
At
I
the
definitely
turn of this.
did.
And there are times where you can feel a season shifting and changing.
And I do those words right there.
I'm talking more towards the new year, new whatever you call it.
New year, new me. No, same old you. And I mean, and so no shade to people who have said that, right? But like, are you really about that life? Are you really gonna do the work? And you know, everybody's journey is their own fucking journey. I get it. But the words that you said were you feel the change. And I guess for me, that's what happened. I felt the need for change. I literally felt, I didn't fucking cry this Christmas. I'm gonna cry now. I didn't cry this Christmas. I didn't cry for Thanksgiving. Like, I missed my dad. I still didn't play our song on New Year's Eve. Like, I haven't listened to that since he passed. But like, I felt different. I felt lighter. It still hurts, but it doesn't feel better. It just feels less suffocating. And so it was like, I felt that change. And it just was one of those things where it was like, fuck, it moves everything around. And now all kinds of shit starting to happen. And that could happen on December 3rd. And that could happen on, you know, like you said, March 14th. You know, it can happen on any of those days. But I feel like collectively, and maybe this is just my people, but I just feel like collectively there were so many of us who were drowning when we didn't even know we were drowning, that something changed. Some feet were planted a little bit. Some security, some solidification happened. And it's like, oh shit, like now whatever needs to happen can happen. And it could happen any other day of the year. But it was just something about seeing people who were looking forward to this new year being so much more powerful and positive than 2022 and going through 2021 and going through 2020. I mean, it's been a shit show that we've all endured the last couple of years. Then life on life's terms happened, and in the midst of the shit show, and you know, shit, even the toughest motherfuckers fall over and crumble and tumble, and hopefully most of us are able to pick ourselves back up. And so when you think about like the Phoenix, right, everything burning to an ash and starting from scratch, like that to me is what January 1st symbolizes for a lot of folks. And I'm pretty diligent. I'm pretty solid. I got great coping skills. Like, I'm pretty solid individual. I'm a pretty solid woman. But I don't know. There was just something about closing and then opening that was like, it was a rebirth, or felt like an opportunity of. I don't know why that happened so much this year and why so many people have acknowledged that's how they feel as well. And that's kind of where I wanted this to go, as opposed to just like talking about specific things or making resolutions. I don't make resolutions. I just want happier. I just want healthier. I just want to heal. I just want positive. And, you know, we're the catalyst to that. So something about January 1st was just, I don't know. It was very poignant to me and many of my friends that we talked about this on. So it's interesting because those that did feel like it was kind of like, we're men. So that's kind of an interesting dynamic that most of my women friends feel the way I do. But the few men I've had this conversation with are like, oh, that's bullshit. So I don't know. That's an interesting dynamic in itself to kind of dissect. Men and women think differently, you know, about certain things. You know, our emotional, you know, compass is different in different places. But I don't know. It was interesting to experience that, you know, men versus women. But I'm looking forward to it. Do y'all make resolutions? Do you ever make resolutions?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
And even what I'm doing right now is not even a resolution. I'm going on this.
I saw you posted, like, you're today's day 2 of 60, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm on a like extreme diet / cleanse.
Oh, are you? Okay, I didn't listen to the video. I thought maybe you were just working out, because I know you've been working out lately.
I have been working out, so I'm getting muscular with a
Yeah,
whole bunch of fat around me.
everybody can change shape quickly, man.
But that was never my intention. My intention was to lose weight, so I figured I'd rather be muscular and fat than just fat and fat. So I just kept lifting, and now it's like I know I got muscle, but I can't see it under all this fat. So let me shave down and see the fruits of my labor.
So what is this? What is the 60 days? So what are you doing in this 60 days? This is day 2 of 60. What are you doing?
I'm cutting out all fat, all sugar, all carbs,
all
no alcohol,
what?
no edibles,
What?
and this is the one I think I shot myself in the foot in. I'm not eating anything that tastes good. So even if it's healthy and it tastes good, I'm not eating it.
What the fuck are you eating? Dog food?
I had kale lettuce. I'm gonna tell you what I had today. I had kale lettuce today, some type of weird beans, sauerkraut, pecans, and I had no, that was yesterday. I had these pasture-free egg or something like that.
So what are you trying to do? Why?
So the part about that, number one,
out some of the other things, but why
right.
would you do that to yourself?
Okay, so yeah, the first part, then I'm trying to get to my weight goal that I got close to and I didn't get to earlier this year. And then I went the other direction. So now I got to get back down. That's the first thing, the weight goal. Now, the thing about me not eating anything that tastes good, I am disassociating my relationship with food and pleasure.
Okay.
Part of the thing is and this is something that I'm just in these 2 days that I learned how much for me and for a lot of people that food is it's such a pleasure thing. And you do it because it makes you feel good. It's not even like, so I feel like I'm torturing myself right now because I'm not eating anything that tastes, mind you, I'm not starving. I can still eat what I want to, but how much do you want to eat this nasty stuff that and it's no sugar, no, it's good for you, got protein, but there's no pleasure in it.
Right.
And my body is telling me that I'm starving and I'm not. But it's like if you don't, me not receiving the pleasure of the food makes me feel like I haven't even eaten. So those are ways that your mind deceives you. So anyway, those are things I'm resetting, as far as I'm resetting my and then what happens is, even when I went on a diet earlier last year, when you go on these diets, it's not permanent. But if you abstain from something long enough, then you start to learn a new habit, or you may find there's things that you can live without.
Your brain changes.
Right. So even now, as I used to
remove substances from your body, whether it's food or drugs or alcohol, it changes your brain chemistry. People used to always give me a hard time when I went vegan. They're like, "Oh my God, I could never give up cheese. I could never give up dairy." I said the same fucking thing. I could never not eat cheese. After my first 30 days, 45 days of being exclusively vegan, and I did eat things that tasted good, but being die hard on a vegan train, and not a processed vegan, but like a real food vegan. Like now, 6 years in January, 6 years in July, I look at a bowl of queso and I'm just like, that shit makes me want to throw up. I know it tastes delicious, but my brain don't want it no more. Sugar. I went on a sugar crave, and Thanksgiving killed me. Like, I put on all my fucking weight between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
I did too.
For other people. Well, I was baking so much that it was like, oh, I have 75 cupcakes. You should have like 7 of them this weekend. So I just ate and ate and ate. And I never justified it like, oh, well, it's vegan, so it's healthy. No, bitch, it's still sugar and flour and all those things. But I put on all that weight, and immediately I was very good about sugars and really not indulging in sugar too much. But the minute I gave into it, it was like a fucking drug.
Right.
The brain responds to white sugar like it responds to white cocaine. And as soon as that sugar went into my body, it was like nonstop. And I have been eating like a fucking garbage truck since Thanksgiving. You know,
Yeah.
but so kudos to you for that, because it will by default, it will change how your brain talks to your eyes, how your eyes talk to your tongue, how your tongue responds to the things that you see. And there will be things that after your 60 days is over, you'll be like, probably don't even want none of that no more. Like, I just don't.
Or even in the case of with my previous diet, it doesn't become a part of your diet anymore. So, like, I still love pizza, but I don't have to eat it 5 times a week now. It's like I can eat it once every 2 weeks and I'm fine. Like I don't have to have bread with everything that I, you know, because I cut out bread, I cut out and bread included pizza and pasta and red meats and a lot of that. I cut that out. So then, well, and not even cut it out totally. I would just reserve it. I could eat what I want on the weekends, but Monday through Friday, I wouldn't eat any of that. And then by the time I got to that, I'm like, I don't have to.
Well, and there's something about the way you feel. When you feel good because your diet is clean, you fucking feel great. That first little cheat meal, that first little piece of pizza, like, oh my God, after it's down in your belly and you're like, you cannot be fucking serious. Like, there's just nothing about this food I want to put back in my body. This food is chemically designed to trick my brain and my taste buds into thinking this is so delicious. No, it's really not. That's why it was very easy for me to stay on a vegan path, because I know it's mind over matter. I know that those things are designed to make us addicted to food. Food is just as much of a drug as drugs and alcohol is. It's just as much of an addiction.
That's why they have the organization is called the FDA.
Overeaters Anonymous, you know?
Food and Drug Administration. Think about why are food and drugs a part of the same government agency? Because it's the same thing.
And they need us sick, you know? So this is the part for me, of course, that goes into high gear when it comes to your body being a temple. Like, if I treat my body like a garbage disposal, it's going to act like a garbage disposal, and I'm going to pay for that, you know? I don't think I've ever really just gone, well, I guess I did go cold turkey when I went from, you know, not vegan to vegan overnight. Like, it was a cold turkey decision. Those first couple weeks are challenging, but it feels so good later.
My mind is, and then I like to eat real late and have like a lot. I would eat heavy and I eat late. That was part of my sleep process. Eating heavy, eating late. Taking a shot of something, grabbing a beer, eating an edible, something like that.
Damn, it's gonna be a whole different frequency in y'all's house for the next couple weeks.
It's totally,
I love it.
It's totally different. But you know, I've always done that. Like, yo, it's time for a reset. So, and it's been a while since I've done that. So
Are you going live every day with just kind of like your update? Is that what you're planning on doing? Because I saw it one.
That's it's just the way I keep myself accountable.
Okay.
So I start
keeping
myself off and eating.
Okay.
That's the way I gotta, you know, I gotta keep myself accountable. So if I put it out there and I keep myself accountable, and then and the other thing, and that's why I said it wasn't really a New Year's resolution. So one of my favorite movies, Creed 3, come out March. And that's what, you know, I used to box and stuff like that. So even when the last 2 came out, then I get inspired. I'm like, all right, I'm about to start working out, training, getting my boxing shape and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, it's coming out. Oh shoot, I gotta get my boxing shape.
I'm gonna be ready.
Then January came around. I'm like, give me 8 weeks. I need to go and shred down. And I kind of just put it all together. I'm like, all right, this time for me to let's see the best version of me I can be by March.
Damn, I love it. Is your fiance doing anything in the same as you? No, it's just all you in the house.
Just eating good, man. It smells good. They cooking all kind of good stuff up in there.
Oh, no.
That's part of it. You got to smell it and be like, man, smell good. Keep eating this spinach.
Yeah. So are you seasoning things? Are you flavor? No.
Nope. That salmon I had it was the wild caught salmon. Nasty. I ain't put no seasoning, no Tony Satcheries, no Old Bay, no salt, no pepper, no nothing.
Oh man.
And that's the part that I fight. Like, man, you know, you can put a little something on there. You
Are
paid
you
all this money,
trying to punish
paid all this.
yourself too? Or are you just like straight edge, like I'm just going balls to the wall with it?
I
Like,
got this. This is the way I have to operate. And like I
okay.
said, I have to disassociate
Pleasure.
my pleasure in food, because that's, you know, I eat it because I got to get to the place where I'm eating to live and not just
Right.
eating for enjoyment and
Right.
entertainment.
So are you finding yourself having to find things to do to occupy your traditional food time?
That's why I work out.
Okay.
Work out.
So
I'm gonna
like
keep
late at
working.
night, what are you doing now late at night since you're not eating and munching and like
I don't know. There's only been my second
I
day, but I
know. I
go to
know.
sleep, drink a lot of water, and go to sleep. Once I'm done, yeah,
Walk it off. Go for a walk real quick. Walk that shit
yeah.
off.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, I might go down to my garage and hit the heavy bag, but no,
Mhm.
I'm gonna let my body kind of acclimate for the first week.
Yeah.
So between
Yeah, because
working
your body
out,
gonna be pissed
because
off
then
at
on
you.
top of that, also as you work out, the more you working out, and I'm starting to pick up my workouts. I'm being more purposeful and intense, and I'm kind of picking up the pace on my workouts. And the more you do that, then it increases your appetite even more. So then you get more. So that's the other thing. So now even, and I'm talking like I've been doing this for a while. It's only been 2 days. It's not I want to eat. I make myself eat.
Right.
Because the food is nasty, and I know that I need to. I know that I need to eat so that I don't have a craving to try to eat something that's
Right.
unhealthy.
Yeah, and break it later. Right.
Right. And then, and in the process of that, then I have been doing a lot more studying and learning, and, you know, finding different ways of non-meat protein and doing things that, because now it's like, all right, well, I need to get more, you know, non-meat because protein, it will make you feel full. You don't want to that's carbs make you feel full, but it always has you craving more. But you want to have something that's positive, that's going to build your muscle. I don't want to break down and look sloppy, which I did that before too. Like, you know, you don't want
Not good
all of
carbs
your
or bad carbs.
yeah. So, you know, I'm learning all that as it go. I'm looking in things that's gonna, because I know one of my issues is my metabolism has slowed down to a snail's pace for reasons
Really?
I don't know. Yeah. So now I'm looking at things that, you know, ways I can boost my metabolism and get that up in the process. So it's gonna be a process. I don't know if I should have did
Like
60
that.
days, but I'm committed to it. So we're gonna see how it goes.
That's inspiring. That's motivating. Like that is. I mean, there's somebody who's gonna hear what you just said and was like, I'm finna do it. I'm finna do
Yeah.
it. I'm finna do it. I'm finna
And you
cut
know
this
what?
shit
That's the
out. I'm
funny
gonna
thing
mind
is
over matter.
I get a lot of, even when I started working out and putting my little thing on the stories and stuff, I get a lot of people DMing me and like, yo, you inspiring me. I gotta, you know, I get a lot of people who do that. So I'm like, okay. I don't know what I'm doing. Like I'm a basketball player. I ain't never been no weightlifter in my life. I only started picking up weightlifting because I found my little light going out. I can do it consistently. Like playing basketball, you know, my knee go out, I got a bad back, then
I'm
I
down for the
try to work
count.
it. Yeah, then I'm out for like a week because I can barely
Right.
walk for a week. But it's like, let me find something that I can stay consistent with. So
That's
right
what's
now, I think
up.
I pulled something in my shoulder, but
You could do something else.
work on my legs.
Right.
It's gonna be a leg day, you know, work on your core. There's always different ways. So that's why I really picked up more weightlifting stuff. Just because it gives me the
Weightlifting really
ability
and
to be
truly is the
consistent.
best way to burn fat and to tone the rest of your body up. I
Yeah.
mean, they say you can do cardio all day long, but there's nothing like lifting weights. There's nothing that's going
I've
to
been
strengthen
playing
you like
tennis for the
lifting weights.
last 3 months. You want to learn how to play tennis? Then holler at me.
My son wants to play tennis, so
Bring them on. Bring them
yeah.
through on a Saturday.
Okay.
Show them
Especially if
through.
the weather's getting nicer. I don't have any inclination to do many sports related activities, but aside from
Tennis
getting
get
my
you right.
toenail injury recently, I definitely had full fucking intention of starting working out on the first. Like that was part of this reconstruction, and I had to have my fucking toenail removed at the ER the night before New Year's Eve. So I haven't until today been able to put much pressure on my foot.
You know, that was my very first time I started like really lifting. Well, when I started getting bigger, like in 2014, I tore my Achilles. I tore my Achilles. And I couldn't even step foot on a basketball court for a year.
Ooh.
And all I did, I went to Goals. I got a gym membership. At first, all I do was swim. I just swam.
Right.
I swam every day, and then I started doing like upper body stuff because I couldn't do lower body stuff. You just find ways.
Exactly.
What can you do? So
and that's why I said, well, I'll just, until my foot has healed, I was like, I'm just going to focus on stretching. I'm going to focus on breathing. Yeah. I'm going to focus on just like getting my mind to the place where it needs to be at to be able to commit. And, it's like anything else, you put it in motion. And as long as you keep, harvesting what you've planted, it only takes 21 days, 14 days, something or other for new habits to form.
Yeah.
So it's just, it is a matter.
I should have did a 21-day challenge.
I did 60
days.
But really, your body needs 30 days to fucking detox. I mean,
and
really,
that's the other thing too. I want to clear all. I want to clear all that out.
Yeah.
My body need to eat.
Yeah, a whole 60 days of detox is 30 days of detox is necessary.
I need to schedule a colonic. I haven't had that in like 10 years, so I need to get that done too.
Hell, the way you eat right now, you might be all right in 2-3 weeks. There might not be nothing in there left to get rid of.
I got years of stuff backed up in there.
Especially if you're a meat eater.
Yeah.
But that's I applaud you. So congratulations for that, and the mentality and the discipline, and that's dope. If y'all are wondering what the hell we're talking about, on Q's page, he's posting some of his updates on this, so go follow him on his page.
Yeah.
You haven't put him on Freethinkers yet. I don't think you've shared him over on the Freethinkers page. But that's what's up. We're gonna have to keep checking in, and accountability is important. Accountability is important. So for anybody who's listening to us tonight who is motivated or inspired to do something different, there is an accountability that's required. You do have to have an accountability partner. Sometimes it might sound corny, but it is important to be held accountable. In all recovery programs, you're going to have a sponsor, a sponsee, a mentor, a mentee, a guide of some sort. It's necessary. We need other people to hold us accountable sometimes.
I'm gonna have my Michael B. Jordan on come March. Get right, be shredded.
See, we're going to Janet Jackson in June in Houston, and I was like, it'll be perfect. It'll be warm.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll be shredded, going to the gym. I'll be like, I'm so ready. 2023 is gonna be. I said it's trips all 2023. It's living life. Just living life all 2023. Shit. Sure. No days promised. If we ain't been taught nothing these last couple of years, it is definitely that. Mm-hmm. No day is promised. Well, that's all I got.
That's all I got.
Oh, last minute. Stokely's birthday was yesterday, so happy birthday! Shout out Stokely.
Happy birthday, Stokely. Happy birthday,
he messaged me today, and he's like, "I'm gonna be there next week." So just want to make sure I, told him happy birthday, and
absolutely.
I don't know if I'm missing any other birthdays. I hope I'm not missing any other birthdays. I don't think anybody's had any birthdays recently, but yeah, so that was that. So happy birthday to Stokely. And we thank y'all for watching us and joining us and tuning in with us and engaging in the conversation. Like I said, follow us over on our YouTube channel, which is Freethinkers Worldwide. Our Facebook page, of course, you definitely want to join both places, really and truly. Hopefully we are going to have some new things coming up this year. We've talked about it all of last year. And, again, I was in a place where I wasn't able to produce, I think, some of the things I wanted to, and out with the old and in with the new. So look forward to some new stuff coming this year. Some great additions to what we already do here. Share the page, like, love, join, come into the conversation, give us your topics, of course. Be accountability partners for us if you'd like to, and vice versa. And anything you want to share before we get up out of here? We did good for time. We didn't stay too late.
Yeah, for a couple of weeks off, then that's
right. We do
No.
want to have a gathering though. We have talked about this since
Oh,
before
yeah.
Christmas. We didn't get to do anything for the Christmas holiday, but we do want to, every quarter possibly sit down and meet somewhere. So if you're listening to us and you have a meeting location that we could jump in on every couple of months, a spot that we can just hang out with for a couple hours and just have this conversation privately, meaning obviously it can't be like a restaurant because it's just too fucking loud. It can't be a bar. It's just too loud.
Yeah. We got to go to Dagville.
Oh, is it going to hold us? Well, is
Oh,
it big
yeah.
enough? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So support Prince and his new endeavor. We'll have to do it after your 60 days is over.
Yes. March,
So
first
you
week
can
of
have
March.
tasty foods and alcohol beverage.
Yes, first weekend of March. Well,
Okay,
yeah, that the
okay,
first Tuesday of March. Then be ready.
All right, that's what we're gonna do the first Tuesday of March. So put that on your calendar. Make sure Prince got us set aside, and we will do the first Tuesday of March over at Daikville, DAIQ-ville. That's his new to-go daiquiri place. Shout out Black owned, and
they are
local.
good daiquiris. That was one of the last stops I had to go to before I was going into my.
Before I
like, yo, I gotta come through get a couple.
promotion.
I got a couple before I knew I was about to hang it up.
That's good to know because not all to-go daiquiri places are actually good. They taste like fucking NyQuil. So
I go there on a regular basis. He lucky I don't live closer. If I live closer in the same area, I'd
use it every day.
Yeah, all the
time. No beverage. Well, Daikville it is. All right. Follow his page. He does have a Facebook page up, so we'll definitely hit up Daikville. So that's what's up. We'll do that the second Tuesday of March. So if you're interested in joining us and meeting some of the people, or if it's been forever since you've been out and seen us, that's what we're gonna do. Second Tuesday of March. So it'll be our first in-person gathering again.
Sure. That'll be good.
All right, that's what's up. Happy New Year's, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Happy New Year.
Good night.